Good afternoon and welcome to the 2026 State of the Community Luncheon. We're truly glad you could join us today. My name is Amy Fox and I'm honored to serve as the current board chair of the Hastings Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Bureau. This event has been a tradition for our chamber, and it's always a special opportunity to come together, connect, and reflect on the strength of our community. Before we begin, I'd like to extend a special thank you to today's event sponsor, Dakota Electric Association. Your support helps make gatherings like this possible, and we sincerely appreciate your partnership. We'd also like to recognize the elected officials in the audience. We have school board members, Jessica Dressley, is she here? Okay. Melissa Milner, Carrie Tate, Mark Zuzik, and Philip Biermeyer for here at this table. City Council members Lisa Liefeld, Dave Pemble, and Dawn Marie Virchow. Thank you, sorry. Dakota County Commissioner Mike Slavic. Metropolitan Council member Mark Jenkins. And State Senator Judy Seeberger. Thanks for joining us. One of the greatest strengths of our community is the collaboration between local businesses, our city, and our school district. When these partners work together, everyone benefits. Businesses gain access to a skilled and educated workforce, the city grows through economic vitality, and our schools are empowered with the resources and support needed to expand opportunities for students. It's through these shared efforts that we can create something bigger than one organization can achieve alone. We build a community that is vibrant, resilient, and prepared for what's ahead. Here's what you can expect from today's program. We'll begin with the State of the School District presented by Superintendent Weirkamp Herman, followed by the State of the City from Mayor Mary Fassbender. Then we're excited to introduce something new this year, a local leaders panel discussion that's going to be moderated by Chamber President Christy Bars. So with that, let's get started. I would like to now welcome our first guest, Dr. Christine Weirkamp Herman. With 20 years of experience in Minnesota public schools, Dr. Weirkamp Herman serves as the superintendent of Hastings Public Schools. She holds a PhD in educational leadership from the University of Minnesota and began her career as a teacher in St. Paul, where she developed a strong belief in the power of supportive learning environments. Prior to coming to Hastings, she served as the superintendent in Royalton Public Schools. Outside of her work, she enjoys spending time with her husband and her 4 stepchildren. Dr. Weirkamp Herman is committed to strengthening community connections and ensuring every Hastings student has the support they need to succeed. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Weirkamp Herman for an update on our public schools.
Good afternoon. Am I ready? Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here today. As you know, this is my first year with Hastings Public Schools, and it's been a wonderful start to our year. I'm going to take us through some slides to kind of show what we're doing in our district this year, where we're headed. I have about 10 minutes, so I'm going to move rather quickly. If you have any questions, please see me afterwards. You can always have access to the PowerPoint as well. To start us off, just want to give you a little bit of a background on the size of Hastings. Our district covers 170 square miles. As you can see, those are some of our buildings where our students attend every single day. We serve students birth through adult. As you can see here, we have our vision and our mission, and I think it's really important to concentrate on our core purpose. We care, we empower, we achieve, and the most important part is students are at the heart of all we do. Every decision we make at every level is around student outcomes. This strategic plan was approved by our school board in June, the month before I got here, with a lot of community and staff input. And as you can see, I want to draw your attention to our core values: compassion and respect, innovation, voice and choice, partnership, and equity. You can see here we have our core pillars: academic excellence, equity and belonging, a safe, supportive, and engaging environments, where we empower staff and hope to retain them, along with effective some feedback, effective and responsive operations. As you can see, this guides our work. This is our vision for our future. I'm very excited to present to you today our Pathways work. As you know, this has been happening now for about 4 years, and without the people in this room, it wouldn't happen. Our partnerships with this local business community is what empowers this work on a daily basis. That continued partnership, that increasing partnership is going to be ever important for its success. And I want to talk about what came out of this last fall when our internal team met with teachers from all aspects of our high school, came together and met for 2 days, full days, and then 2 part-time in the days. And we came up with skills for success. These are the areas where every single teacher teaches kids skills they need, so when they leave us in their future, they will be successful in whatever endeavor they choose. These are the things that we want your help with. In case we've missed something, in case we need to add something, we need your voice. We know that you train your employees to do their work, but our job is to prepare those students, your future workforce, so that they can learn those skills. I want to bring your attention to just a few of these that we focus on. You think about problem solving. We think right away about math. But we teach problem solving in everything, all of our elective courses, when you think about our Woods classes, our machine classes, when you think about English and our ability to think critically, all of these different skills are taught in every class. Some focus on more than others. It's all dependent. But we feel that these are the skills, if our kids have these when they leave us, they will be successful. What are pathways? They help students explore their interests, build real-world skills, and prepare for life after high school. Each pathway connects coursework experiences and career opportunities, and we thank you for that partnership. When our kids get out into your business, they get to see what the real world looks like hands-on, it matters. And what's really fun is it lets them understand maybe what they want to do or even not want to do. This is an example of one of our pages out of our new Pathways guide. And now we've gone ahead and established a guide that includes a Pathways course progression. So you can see when they take introductory, intermediate, and then advanced courses. And we've added a layer of potential occupations and the potential median income that they can earn with those occupations. They're just a few, obviously not encompassing all, but it helps kids understand what they might be looking for in their future. This is partnership. I said it before, I'll say again, is the future of what we do. Without partners, we can't do this work well. And as, again, we're always, I think it was Vince Lombardi said, we chase perfection to catch excellence. We want to be excellent. So we're going to chase perfection, but we need your help. And with this partnership matters. I want to also introduce to you that we do offer Zello, which is a program that we offer middle school through high school. And they're actually an opportunity for kids to do some exploring around what their career interests might be. And it was exciting. I talked to an 8th grade student who said she was really happy she got to take that inventory because now things started to make sense to her about what she might want to take when she's in high school. So to hear that from an 8th grader, that's powerful. Our Animage table, I want to do a huge thank you to Ruth and George Doffing Charitable Fund for contributing to this Animage table. We are the first, and I believe still the only, school district have this table in the state of Minnesota, potentially nationally, but I'm afraid to say that out loud because I don't know if that's true. But I do know in Minnesota so far. This is an opportunity for kids to work with real cadavers and get to actually see how disease works and what it does to organs. And it covers all sorts of different sciences, including even learning about black holes. It's a crazy, incredible table, and if you ever want to see it, call Mr. Dorn. He'll bring you in and give you a show of what this looks like. It really is amazing. I just have to say, one of our sons going to medical school, and he's like, "You have what? I haven't seen that." We also have our STEM classes in all of our elementary schools. So just like taking an art class, just like taking a music class, our kids get an opportunity to learn more about science, technology, math, and they get to do this every week, every grade. We also are excited to say that we were awarded a grant of $15,000 from St. Croix Valley Foundation to restore a prairie on our Kennedy property. This will obviously provide learning opportunities for the students at Kennedy, but we will also have our high school students being able to access this, as well as middle school and the others. Equity, belonging, another one of our pillar. Just so you know, our kids work really hard to welcome each other. A couple of those would be the Link Crew at the high school, where upperclassmen welcome freshmen to have them feel welcomed and belong when they first start school. You can imagine, remember when you first went to high school? A little bit nervous. It's nice to have the upperclassmen provide them welcoming experience. Same thing with our web leaders at the middle school, where 8th grade students get to help welcome in our new incoming 5th grade students, as well making them feel comfortable and that they belong in that school. I want to say thank you to the city for helping us and partnering with us to provide a second officer as a school resource officer. Mr. Domeyer started this year with us, and he's at our middle school. It's wonderful to watch him build relationships with kids. This not only helps our schools with safety, but it actually helps our community. Those partnerships and the relationships they build in schools, those get out into the community and further impact families' lives. And we really appreciate this partnership. Just so you know, we do think about safety. Often those are protocols. We have the I Love You Guys framework that we use to ensure that we practice drills so that safety is always a first priority. And as for operations, it is extremely important to us that we have good fiscal oversight. We recognize that if it weren't for the citizenry of Hastings and our surrounding area, that we wouldn't have the funds we have to educate our children, and we're grateful forever to that generosity of our local community as well as our statewide community. And so we're really work hard to make sure that our resources are used appropriately. And to ensure that kids get what they need, and then again, that the decisions we make behind the use of those fiscal dollars are around student achievement. I want to show you really quickly this promotional video that we put together. It just kind of tells you a little bit more about Hastings from another perspective.
With over 300 passionate educators, our dedication to student success has never been stronger. These educators are more than teachers.
Let's paint the picture.
They are mentors who ignite curiosity and inspire a lifelong passion for learning. Our schools provide real-world experiences through cutting-edge programs in engineering, digital arts, and environmental science. At Hastings, students have opportunities to explore future careers through hands-on learning and access to innovative technology, where learning becomes not just something students do, but something they experience. We take pride in our blend of rigorous academics and enriching arts programs. These programs nourish our students' educational journey, enhancing their creativity and discipline, and fostering skills that resonate throughout their academic and personal lives. This is Hastings Public Schools, where we care, we empower, and we achieve. Students are at the heart of all we do.
So I want to wrap up by just saying again, I want to thank all of you here in this room for your partnership. Whether it's through the business connection that we have, whether you're sending your kids to us and entrusting us with their development, even just as a local community member and taxpayer, we appreciate that relationship and that partnership, and we want to see that grow over time. We know that we're preparing the next workforce, and it matters to us, but we also know that we prepare the whole child, so that when they leave us, they're ready to fit in right here in Hastings in our community. They can lead at the local level. They can be good parents to their future children. And so with that partnership with all of you matters. And I want to say thank you very much, and we appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Dr. Werkamp-Herman. Thank you for being here and for all you're doing to serve our community and the school district. Our next guest is Mayor Mary Fassbender. Mary has served as mayor of Hastings since 2019 and was re-elected in 2022. A lifelong resident, she has dedicated her life to public service through both elected roles and community involvement. In addition to her work as mayor, she is a longtime small business owner, founding MDK Design for Hair and successfully operating it in Hastings for over 40 years. She has served on numerous local boards and commissions, and in 1998 co-founded the Gobblegate Thanksgiving Day Run, which has raised more than $2 million for Hastings Family Service. As mayor, Mary focuses on community engagement, responsible growth, and preserving Hastings' character, working to ensure strong partnerships and a connected, inclusive community. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Fassbender for an update on the state of the city.
It's following. You're good? Is that a good one? I think you're good. Okay. Perfect. All right. Thank you, Amy. And good afternoon, everyone. I thank you for being here today. Thank you, Dr. Warkamp Herman and the school board for their leadership in educating our community's youth. It is our next generations of leaders. Thank you to the Hastings Chamber hosting this event and Hastings Golf Club for the venue and the wonderful lunch. I want to begin today by recognizing and thanking our city council members, our city leadership team, our dedicated staff, community partners, volunteers, and most importantly, the residents of Hastings. The city staff is led by our city administrator, Dan Waticha, and his management team, many of whom are here today. Today, I'd like to share where we've been, what we've accomplished together, and where we're headed. Our theme this year is simple: progress through partnerships. When you look at what Hastings has achieved in the past year in clean water investments, infrastructure improvements, community celebrations, and economic growth, you can see it happened because we work together and we move together forward. As mayor, my top responsibility is protecting the health and well-being of our residents, and that begins with clean, safe drinking water. Over the past year, we've taken decisive action to address PFAS and nitrates in our water system. Construction is now underway on our central water treatment plant. We also advanced planning and funding for 2 additional treatment facilities to ensure citywide protection. The city has requested $18.4 million and $20.7 million in state funds for construction of these eastern and water treatment plants. These plants will remove PFAS and nitrates from our water. The eastern treatment plant is to be in the industrial park. It is scheduled to begin construction this summer. The western water treatment plant will begin construction in 2027. The cost to construct all of these plants is $70.3 million. We have secured more than $23 million in grants and settlement funding to support these efforts. And we continue pursuing additional resources. And I'd like to thank Senator Seeberger and Representative DePel for advocating on our behalf. We also made tough decisions regarding water rates. Those conversations were not easy, but they are transparent, thoughtful, and grounded in long-term responsibilities. In 2025, working alongside the City Council and staff, we adopted a budget focused on infrastructure, utilities, public safety, staffing, and long-term capital planning. We carried that simple discipline into 2026 budget that reflects every dollar is a community priority. And I'm proud to share that Hastings once again received a clean audit. Our 2026 budget continues to emphasize high levels of service for our community. The 2026 budget of $71 million includes a tax levy of $21.6 million to invest in improved water treatment, infrastructure, buildings and equipment, preservation, and the people who we serve. Those who may be wondering, 44% of every tax dollar goes to public safety, a priority that consistently receives high service marks in our community surveys. Parks and Recreation receives 12%, and every dollar of Public Works receives 10%. Infrastructure is the foundation that allows a city to function, grow, and thrive. This year, we strengthened our coordination with the Minnesota Department of Transportation on the Highway 61 corridor, a critical region that supports both safety and commerce. This major reconstruction project, currently is scheduled for 2028, represents more than just road work. It is a transformation investment that will help advance our long-term vision for community growth, enhance access to downtown, and deliver much-needed safety improvements for residents and travelers alike. We are fortunate to have a great partnership with Christy Bars and the Chamber Board and the MnDOT Business Group to ensure local businesses stay connected and informed throughout all phases of the construction. This past year, we worked closely with our state partners on pedestrian safety and accessibility improvements at Highway 55, including updated traffic signal lights and ADA curbing. On 42 Ninninger Road, we worked with Dakota County on final designs to improve pedestrian and driver safety. This project is ready to take place in 2027. At the Hastings Civic Arena, we completed major upgrades, including energy-efficient systems and solar panels, lowering long-term costs while increasing sustainability. This is a regional facility shared by local, state, and Midwest organizations. City Hall renovations were completed this year, making the culmination of a 2+ year effort to preserve and restore one of the community's most historic landmarks. Originally constructed in 1871 as the Dakota County Courthouse, the building has undergone significant improvements following the city's receipt of state bonding and other grant support in 2020. In addition to the exterior work, the project included major upgrades for building HVAC system. These improvements are expanded to enhance energy efficiency and better regulate humidity levels within the building. Hastings is growing, and the momentum is undeniable. This past year, we experienced the highest level of single-family home construction in decades. At the same time, multifamily housing options continued to expand, and new businesses made meaningful investments in our industrial park, bringing them jobs, energy, and opportunity. Over the past year alone, we have approved 42 new residential units, representing a total value of $9.7 million. Developments like Heritage Ridge continue to move forward, now totaling 80 home sites, with a 4th addition set to begin construction this spring. Along Vermilion Acres on County Road 47 is advancing as a 75-unit senior housing facility. The villas on Pleasant have received permits for all 38 units. And in South Oaks 4th Edition, construction is underway on the first 4 of 35 single-family homes. But as we celebrate this growth, we must also recognize the work ahead. Dakota County, according to the recent study by Dakota County, Hastings faces a 5-year housing gap of 1,483 units, 402 rental, and 1,081 for sale homes. These gaps span a range of affordability levels reflecting the diverse needs of our residents. This data makes one thing clear: growth alone is not enough. We must continue to ensure that our housing developments meets the needs of our entire community today and for our future. Commercially, we approved 55 permits for commercial and industrial expansion, totaling $12.9 million in value. Chase Bank submitted plans to build a new branch on Market Boulevard. We began construction on the central water treatment plant off North Frontage Road. This is the first of the 3 plants to be built. Thanks to our partners at United Heroes League, a new stadium and locker room took shape at UHL Complex on Ravenna Trail, and it was ready for this year's Hockey Day Minnesota events. In the industrial park, Rio Grande Trucking received approval to construct a new trucking facility, and Storage Works built a storage rental facility. But growth alone is not the goal. Thought for growth is. That is why I began the process updating the city's zoning code to ensure development aligns with community values. This protects livability with encouraging opportunity. We also continue to build a strong partnership with our Hastings Downtown Business Association, supporting our downtown and the entrepreneurs that make it such a special place. Our local businesses work incredibly hard every day to bring into Hastings and create a welcoming, vibrant community. And something a lot of people do not realize is just how much the Downtown Business Association is behind the scenes. They help drive the events we all enjoy on Main Street. They pitch in to support the flowers that you see during the summer, the lights on the buildings in the winter, and even the ice sculptures that have become a favorite tradition. Along with our Chamber of Commerce, they really deserve a lot of the credit for energy and spirit of our downtown. In the same way, we deeply value the partnerships with our Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Bureau, which advocates for our business community, partners on tourism initiatives, and our departments on helping our government and business community to work together for the good for all. At the end of the day, economic vitality happens when public leadership and private investments are moving in the same direction. And here in Hastings, we are doing that. What truly sets aside apart is quality of life. This is most reflected in the community experiences that bring people together. This year, we celebrated 10 years at the Rotary Pavilion Levy Park, bringing nearly 10,000 people together along our riverfront. We expanded our music in the park by pairing it with makers markets, creating vibrant music and market events, and support both artists and small businesses. Year-round, recreation continues to thrive, from our aquatic center and trails in the summer to skating, fishing, and programming in the winter. We are proud to host Hockey Day Minnesota, the 20th anniversary, bringing statewide attention and energy right here in Hastings. It was an incredible opportunity to showcase not just our facilities, but the spirit of our community. Serving as a co-chair of this event was truly humbling. I had the privilege of working alongside an amazing committee, and what stood out most was they shared the commitment to serve our community. Every single person involved wanted to make Hastings proud. It has been, even though if it was cold outside, Hastings showed up and showed just how warm our community is. I'd like to thank Shane Hudella for his vision and leadership that brought Hockey Day Minnesota to Hastings. And let's give ourselves a round of applause for those efforts to bring this iconic event. Behind the scenes, partnerships strengthened our natural spaces. Improvements at Lake Isabel Park in collaboration with neighborhood leaders, allowed us to reimagine and reinvigorate one of the popular tourist attractions with updated playground, picnic, and fishing pier spaces. In addition, restoration at Lake Rebecca Park, supported by Legislative Citizen Commission on Minnesota Resources, and park enhancements allowed for significant improvements at this tourist destination. Throughout the city, we have partnered with Friends on the Mississippi and Dakota County for Oak Savanna restoration efforts, and we've made improvements to urban forestry through partnerships with Rainbow Tree Service. All those efforts protect their natural beauty that defines our city. Speaking of beauty, our Arts and Culture Commission continues to do incredible work, bringing creativity into our community. I've really enjoyed watching this group grow. One great example is the new hockey mural on the Civic Arena facing Highway 61. It's bright, energetic, and hard to miss. And it adds so much life and color to what used to be just a concrete wall. It reflects both our history and our strong hockey tradition, and it's something that our community can be proud of. They've also launched a grant program to help support even more creative projects across Hastings, helping others bring their ideas to life. Safety remains a core responsibility and is something in which we are most proud of. This is evident at the council and staff levels, and our residents and businesses continue to give high marks of confidence in our public safety efforts in community surveys. This year, we invested in additional firefighter, paramedics. We also added a second school resource officer in collaboration with our school district partners to enhance our public safety. And we upgraded the e-bike regulations to improve public safety and provide clarity around rules. These are very important topics that greatly impact Hastings. Looking closely at both fire and police departments, we can see they continue to provide amazing response to ensure safety and life. In 2025, our fire and EMS department was more active than ever, responding to 4,000 calls for service. Whether it was 3,495 medical emergencies or 483 fire calls, our team was there when it mattered the most. We've built a safety net that extends beyond our city limits. Through mutual aid last year, we relied on neighbors next door 28 times, but just as importantly, we stepped up to help them 64 times. From Cottage Grove and Prescott to Rosemount and Red Wing, where any emergency happens, help is on the way. We aren't just a department, we are part of a regional lifeline. Additionally, our police department continues its outstanding service, responding to nearly 20,000 calls for service in 2025 and working more than 2,000 cases. Our records department responded to 1,000 public data requests, and our police department personnel completed nearly 27 hours of training. Although he is not here, I would like to thank Chief Dave Wilski for his leadership and the department. And I'd also like to welcome Kyle Lynchide, who we just sworn in as new chief Monday night. Chief, I know you'll continue to do great things. Community is the heart of our police department's work, guiding its efforts to build trust through visibility, relationships, and meaningful engagements. Over the past year, the department has responded to important community issues, including questions around immigration enforcement and an increased need for food and essential resources. This work is strengthened through strong partnerships The department collaborates closely with local and state law enforcement, as well as social organizations such as 360 Communities to address domestic violence, Ally Supportive Services to support individuals experiencing homelessness, and Dakota County through its embedded social work and crisis programs. They also partner with local nonprofits, including Hastings Family Service and United Way, to better serve those in need. Meeting people where there are central is this approach. Initiatives like Coffee with a Cop create a space, open dialogue, allowing residents to share concerns and connect directly with officers. Outreach efforts also extend to youth and community groups through programs such as Rec, Art, and Police, as well as partnerships with organizations such as Hastings Sharks, Special Olympics Minnesota. These efforts help build lasting relationships, strengthen understanding, and foster a deeper sense of the trust across our community. As we look forward, our priorities remain clear. Completing our clean water infrastructure by continuing to build out 3 water treatment plants to remove PFAS and nitrates from city drinking water. Advancing strategic investments is in our community, like Highway 61 and Vermilion Corridor economic developments, as well as community safety and enhancements along critical roadways. Supporting economic vitality and expanding housing opportunities remain essential priorities for our community. We continue to see strong interest from developers who recognize Hastings as a great place to invest, live, and work. These conversations can understandably bring a range of perspectives. Some residents prefer to maintain our current size and character, while others welcome thoughtful growth. I want to be clear, the city does not recruit developers to annex land. Decisions to sell properties are made by individual landowners, and develop follows those private choices. As discussions continue regarding potential sales of farmland on the west and south sides of our community, it is important to recognize this distinction. At the same time, we are focused on ensuring that any future development reflects the needs of our residents. New housing options are on the horizon, including Walden at Hastings, which will include 190 single-family villa and townhome sites, and Pleasant Valley Farm. Tradition Development plans to create 375 home sites on the Consemius Farm property located between Featherstone Road and County Road 42. Commercially, we continue to pursue development for Block 28 Gateway, the old Wells Fargo Bank off Vermilion and 4th Street. 90% of that block has been purchased and environmental investigations are underway. The city plans to redevelop the block as a mixed-use development with commercial property and housing units, and we will seek developer commitments this year. On Block 16, the Red Rock Corridor parking lot down by Levy Park, we are examining potential redevelopment of the existing 100-space parking lot along 2nd Street in downtown. Finally, we are working to ensure transparent, accessible local government amenities and services. We are pursuing grant funds for a fully accessible playground, the first in our community. We also recently launched a new city website, and we will work to meet ADA compliance guidelines so we can reflect on and serve all of Hastings. The work in our community continues, but if this past year has shown anything, it has shown that when Hastings partners, we progress. A great quote I like to live by is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. In closing, Thank you for your trust in me, in our city council, and our city staff. Together, we are building a healthier, stronger, more vibrant Hastings, not just for today, but for the generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Mary. I always get caught up by that, for that great overview and for all you do for our city. All right, lastly, we'll transition to our local leaders panel discussion moderated by Chamber President Christy Bars. So please join me in welcoming our panelists, Mayor Mary Fassbender, City Administrator Dan Waticha, Superintendent Dr. Christine Werkamp Herman, and School Board Chair Carrie Tate.
Is it working? Okay. Perfect. Christine, I'm going to hand this to you first. Okay. Thank you guys for coming up today. And thank you to Christine and Mary. By the way, I'm going to be using your first names. This is going to be a little bit more informal. We heard some excellent presentations from the schools and also from the city, but we thought we'd change it up a bit this year and use the last 20 minutes to get to know some of these local leaders, get a peek into what their job looks like on a day-to-day basis, and also just have some fun. So that's what this panel is all about. And I really wish that we would have had some background music for this group of people as they walked up. So that's going to be your icebreaker question. Christine, if you had a walk-up song, it is not on the list. There'll be a few of those. What would it be? We can have Carrie answer that for you, too.
I'm speechless for the first time. That doesn't happen to me very often. My walk-up song? I don't know. I'm really going blank.
We can come back.
Anything by Brandy Carlisle. How about that?
I'm going to have to say Staying Alive right now with 2 kids in 2 sports, working plus school board. Yep, that's my song right now.
All of us? I don't remember who the player was, but a few years ago there was a baseball player that had the Baby Shark tune played whenever it came out, so I'll go with that.
Okay. John Mellencamp, my hometown.
I love it. That's fantastic.
I did. I had the most time to think.
So the name of today's event is State of the Community, but I think we could all agree that many people in this audience could come up and be part of this panel because there are so many strong organizations, businesses, and individuals that make Hastings as great as it is. As 2 pillars in the community, you guys intersect quite a bit. Where do you partner or intersect more than people might realize? And Dan, you have the microphone, so you will go first.
Perfect.
One of the places that maybe just keying on the question of where people don't realize, for a number of years, the school crossing guards are actually City of Hastings employees, paid for by the school district. Not quite sure the legality reason to it. It had something to do with because they're actually stopping traffic. There's a police function, so they had to be city employees. So maybe behind the scenes, it's not one of the best examples of collaboration. I think there's bigger, more significant pieces, but something that people might not realize.
That's a great example. Does anyone else want to give an example? Doesn't work at all.
Well, I'm going to say, they have all of these fantastic presentations about all the great road work that is going to be done. That impacts the school district quite a bit because we still have to get kids to school, right? So we have to be thinking and planning and working with the bus company and all of that.
Christine, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I could add, and I alluded to it, but the SRO function and how important that is for our schools and that partnership. They are not our staff, they are city staff. but they work with us as if they were a part of our team, just as a normal staff person. And I think that relationship is imperative, not just for the school safety, but just the overall community and schools working together. It's a really good partnership.
Mary, anything to add?
Sure, I'll just add, we do partner with some buildings within the community, and we have JP, joint powers agreements with them.
Well, along the lines of partnership, are there ways that you think the city and the schools could partner in greater areas? Are there opportunities to partner? Yes?
We're starting this and have done this.
Okay.
We've started this and we'll continue to do this, but the idea of our kids getting into civic functions. So the idea of them getting into City Hall and seeing those job opportunities, having law enforcement come into our classrooms and talk about what they do as a role, those kinds of partnerships are important. And actually more around even how city government works. As we think about when our kids graduate, we want them to run for city council one day, right? We want them to think about their role in civic governance. And so I think getting that partnership and that relationship really solidly established would be a great opportunity.
I really just echo what Christine said. I talked with the principal earlier ahead of the luncheon here and talked a little bit about are there opportunities for students to come and job shadow at City Hall. And I know I've seen one or two come through, but we certainly should have more and help introduce them to that work, but also a matter of civics and governance that impacts all of our lives.
Mary, anything to add? No. Okay. Pass it on back.
I got one more. And this goes beyond just city, this goes with our townships and our other cities as well. I think understanding each other's financial projections, so we know possible tax increases coming along. If folks don't know, the cities and townships, they can just increase your taxes. School districts can't do that, so we have to go out for voter approval with those things. So it's important to know when big tax increases are coming, so we know maybe we shouldn't be going for a levy at the same time, for example.
Okay, this one is for our elected officials. So Carrie and Mary, you are engaging with residents and students often, and usually you'll gather feedback when you're trying to make major decisions. Can you think of a time when a resident or possibly a student, a conversation with them changed your perspective on something? And Carrie, we'll start with you.
I don't have a specific example of a single conversation, but what I can say is never underestimate our students. They are phenomenal. I don't know how many people have seen the Rotary Student of the Month that they highlight. Honestly, listening to these kids, and they come and we bring them to the board table all the time, and you hear about all of the things that I think I'm a busy person, right? And then you start rattling off all the things that they're involved in between work, school, sports, volunteering, all the things. It's just absolutely incredible, and I think that has just opened my eyes to just how unbelievably amazing our kids are.
I certainly can relate to one particular, or a couple, but I'll emphasize on one. When I first became mayor, I'm a white girl, I lived in Hastings my whole life, my life is so good, right? Until we started talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. I really didn't know what that meant until I started meeting with people and understanding where they were coming from, and I have a whole different perspective now as to how some of them have to live their daily lives when I just come to work and get in my car and go home, and it's easy peasy. And especially through what we just went through, how can we as a city support those people more? And so it truly they have changed my life.
I swear the AV was working yesterday. Okay, we have 8 minutes left, so brevity is our friends. We're gonna go through a couple more questions. This one I'm gonna pass on to our city administrator and school superintendent. What's something that would surprise people about how decisions get made in your role?
I won't talk about snow days. But I will say, I don't make decisions in isolation or extremely rarely. It takes a team. I lead that way. These principals here, and Lindy can tell you, it's true. We work together so that ultimately I need multiple perspectives if we're going to get at the right decision. And so it matters that it's an inclusive process. And I stand behind that, and we do that. And even calling snow days, I'm on the phone with superintendents at 4 a.m.
Yeah, it definitely, decisions are not an individual, not even a board of 7 up at the city council meeting. We, the last 3 or 4 years, have really embraced our committee structure, where we've got Public Safety Committee of the City Council, the Planning Committee, Operations Committee, and each of those committees will meet throughout the year, but if it's an ordinance on tobacco licensing, if it's our budget, if it's the e-scooter or e-bike ordinances a year ago, those have already been vetted by our committees. We also have a number of citizen advisory commissions that help to work through the details of what a policy change might be before it comes to the city council meeting for a final discussion and vote. And I think that background piece, the preparatory piece, might not be as recognized.
That's great. Okay, so for this section, we're going to skip ahead a few questions. I'm going to read a statement, and you simply say agree or disagree with the statement. If you feel that it needs some explanation, feel free to use that time. Just make sure that it's brief, but agree or disagree. Hastings is growing at the right pace.
It depends. Can't I say that?
Agree or disagree?
From a school perspective, I'll say I want to agree. I like hearing the housing, but I've yet to see the kids come.
Same here.
I believe that we could be growing at a faster pace.
I like the way we're growing.
Agree. Okay, we need to think bigger as a community. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
Agree.
I would change the word bigger to broader.
Agree.
All in agreement. That was exciting. I think in both questions, actually. Okay, last one. I prioritize finding a Hastings business before opening the Amazon app. Anytime I want to make a purchase.
When I choose a restaurant, absolutely.
This is not true for me, unfortunately. I do go to Hastings businesses, but I do shop Amazon.
All of the above? I do use Amazon primarily because of the convenience, as well as the ability to get some things that are not available locally, but I think that supporting our local businesses is critical and essential. I know that probably not today because we're limited on time, but some discussion on Highway 61 coming up is just going to be a huge burden on the Hastings community, and I know that the chamber is going to be planning a big Choose Local campaign, but really encourage that.
I have to say I do support local, and I will say that if I can't find what I think I'm looking for, I don't change to go to somewhere else. I change of what I'm going to purchase.
Okay, great answers. Thank you. All right. So now we've been talking from a community standpoint, so feel free to put on the city or schools hat with these next few questions. But and we'll start with you, Christine. From a school side, what's improved most in the last 3 to 5 years? And I know that's a challenging one for you because you're still under a year as superintendent, but what's improved most that you've seen?
We're past COVID. And so it matters. And what we're seeing, and we're seeing this across our entire state, is that kids are coming ready for school. When we first got through 21, started that school year in 2021, so mind you, that was after the whole shutdown, we saw a lot of heightened behaviors from children. There's always behaviors from kids. It's always been that way since as long as you've had kids, thousands of years. That's tempered down significantly since we've moved further and further away from it. So I can say that confidently.
For Hastings specifically, it would be the Pathways programming. This is such exciting work, and the partnerships that are being developed are amazing, and the people who put the hours and hours into that and making that beautiful looking catalog for students to be able to choose from to see, hey, what does my future look like, and actually conceptualize what could I see myself doing and how does that look for me.
From the city standpoint, we're in a stronger or more stable financial position. Doesn't mean it's easy, but we've taken a number of steps over the last few years to begin addressing deferred maintenance on facilities and equipment, continuing and increasing investment in our infrastructure, our roads and utilities. That saves us money in the long run. It's got some immediate upfront pain, but it reduces the long-term maintenance costs. That, as well as growth and some changes in our fiscal policies, we actually had our bond rating increased a couple of years ago to AA+. So it shows.
I'll speak city community. I think the community has just engaged. Everyone individually has really stepped up to help the needs of others, school, city, commerce, whatever it is. I think we are growing together as we always continue to say we like to do. I truly think it's helping, and it's happening in Hastings for all sides.
That was my warning that we have run out of time. But this was an excellent panel. Thank you guys so much for being here. We had a lot more questions, but we'll just save it for next year. Or we can reach out to you individually, right? Let's give it up for the panel. Thank you. Thank them for being here.
All right, thank you to all of our guests this afternoon. Let's give them one more round of applause. Thank you as well to the Public House for hosting us and providing such a delicious lunch, and to our sponsor, Dakota Electric, for helping make today's event possible. And on behalf of the Hastings Chamber, thank you for being here and for making this such a wonderful event. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.